And hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Stuart.
My name is Joshua Plummer.
A bit of delay there, man.
Really?
Well, yeah, it was delay in my end.
Was it delay, or was it dramatic pause?
Oh, don't try that. Don't try that.
Or am I just pissed at you? I don't know. Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Why are you? Oh no. Anyway,
why do you think I might be pissed at you, Stu?
Here we go. Anyway, this is our WrestleMania 36 review. It's different.
Too big for one night, but not big enough for one podcast.
No, and this is great. This sucks for us because that's basically 6 hours worth of content that we've got to try and put in. Basically 2 shows into one. That's kind of crappy. Yes. But yeah, obviously this is all This WrestleMania was supposed to be in Tampa Bay, right? Supposed to be there, but obviously because of the coronavirus thing, they've moved it to the Performance Center in Florida.
They have.
So it was with no crowd. So going into it, I was personally thinking, what's it going to feel like? What are they going to do? I guess you were thinking the same.
Yeah, I came in with low expectations, even though the fantasy booking side of me was going, they could have a massive pirate ship. They could go full cinematic. They could even just say bollocks to it, just go out to sea, just make a massive boat and do something there, do proper Pirates of the Caribbean. But of course not. They were never going to do that. So they just built a set, and the things that were remotely WrestleMania-ish were the big WrestleMania sign, which was kind of in the shape of one of those sails, and some cutlasses on the ramp. That was about it.
Yeah, I mean, the joke was, they used basically that's the WrestleMania sign they have when they point out. They've just taken it down and put it on the stage.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess you had to do that. I guess, but yeah, but I mean, it was just one of the things I was just thinking. It's going to be really. It's either going to be really bad. That it's like you're just thinking, why are they doing this? Or it's going to be like, oh, okay, so actually some of it was pretty good. So
it wasn't ever going to feel like a WrestleMania for me, unless they went full on with the cinematic stuff, which they did in some places. But it just felt to me like a kind of benefit kind of thing. Like, we're putting this on to support people who are going through the current situation we're all going through, rather than this is our biggest show of the year, our WrestleMania. This felt very much like a benefit, kind of like a Live Aid or a Live Aid, like a benefit kind of concert, sort of. Yeah, if you know what I mean.
I mean, for me, it felt more like it would be if you know them small wrestling events you have down in a school or something, and only like 20 people or 30 people there. And obviously there's no people there in this one, but it felt like it's that feeling when it's so little people, you can hear everything. You can hear them do all the moves. You can hear the screams and the sort of everything.
Yeah, it also looked like and the SmackDowns and Raw and the previous weeks had the same problem where instead of looking like a Raw SmackDown, I mean, it was never going to look like a Raw SmackDown. The kind of live crowd obviously not being there. I've lost my bloody point now. It was never gonna look. What was I bloody saying? Damn it, Stu! I lost my train of thought.
It's not my fault. I wasn't even saying anything. Not my fault this time, mate. Nice try.
Yeah, it looked like I've got it now. It looked like someone had It's like that character that appeared for the Otis and Dolph Ziggler storyline. That guy who just hacked into the cameras backstage to find out what was really going on. It looked like someone had hacked the cameras at the WWE Performance Center as they're doing a final dress rehearsal / technical rehearsal before they do the show live in front of an audience. It had that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think this whole thing has made us realize that wrestling. I know it's obvious, but obviously we only notice it until it's gone. Is nothing without the crowd reaction. I mean, you can do cool stuff, but it's missing that key ingredient for its purpose of existing. I would say anyway.
The commentators had a really difficult job as well. Like, do they let the wrestlers just monologue and tell the story themselves? Because there are moments where you've just been silent, no commentary whatsoever, or you've got to really commentate and up your game a little bit. But otherwise, they could have gone completely overboard. Everyone had a tough job. Even when people are coming out and they're doing gestures like to the audience, like, is that like autopilot? Are they trying to pretend that there is a live show, there is a live crowd? It's like, just no.
I know. I think obviously we'll talk about it a bit later, but I noticed when Edge came out for his one in the second night. Obviously we'll get into that.
Yeah.
It's just I noticed when it's like he came out and normally he's like going to the crowd, getting all ramped up and everything, and then he came out and I think he just looked at going, "Oh yeah, there's no crowd, is there? Okay,
yeah,
okay." I just walked down then. I didn't even do the gesture. It kind of sucks.
Even John Cena coming out looking at the crowd, because usually he does like a little bit of monologuing to the camera. But he's just going, "It's WrestleMania," as if there's 80,000 people there.
Even he was trying not to laugh anyway. But not laugh, but you can see in his eyes like, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
It's tough to adjust, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, as much we want to get into it. First things first, there is a bit of business to sort out before we can get into our reviewing basically two shows in one. Obviously, we're talking about it's WrestleMania time, so that means we have our famous prediction, six-way prediction game match for the title.
We do.
And for once, we actually went in as champion.
We did, with lots of accolades. We came in through Survivors. We came in as champions. We were the current tag team champions. We won God of the Pod. We
won everything basically.
We basically won everything.
I called it. The Cabinet of Gold. I called it.
Yes. But how did that play out for us in the end?
I don't know. You're the one who has all the knowledge.
Let's find out, shall we? So, let's work through. So, I posted the scores up the other night, or on the Sunday, of the halfway stage. So, at the halfway stage, the player that was the highest scorer at that time will go into the Callaway title match to face Last Blogger Standing. So, let's start off with that. So, Last Blogger Standing. They ended up with a final score of 48.
Not bad.
And they went up against a team which has not had the best viewing relationship with the Callaway title. Two gentlemen from Ireland, just because, were the highest scorers. So they went into the Callaway title match against Last Blogger Standing. And just because scored 69.
Sis.
They are our new Callaway champions. Congratulations, just because.
Oh, I've got a feeling not going to be happy about that.
No, but they might be happy about this as well. Not only were they the highest scorers of the first night, they were also the highest scorers in total. So that means not only are they our new JSPL Callaway title, the champions, they are our number one contenders to face the JSPL champion at Money in the Bank, if that goes ahead, of course.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But who is our JSPL champion?
I dread. Okay, let's get it over with.
Let's begin with us, shall we?
Why not? What have I done?
So, we ended up, our first night, 18 points. So we were third place. Smack bang in the middle. So in contention, doing all right. We ended up 55 points in total.
That's not bad. I'm happy with that. Sounds reasonable.
You're happy with that, are you?
Oh, come on. I mean, there was a lot of shocks and a lot of decisions that were like, "Are you serious? You went there?" So, God, go on then.
Next up, we have Outsiders, who came in the championship match by winning the first annual JSPL G1. They were completely unbeaten until the final round of block matches, where they actually went up against Bottom Line Wrestlecast, who are also in this championship match. Outsiders beat Then Now Whatever in the final in the previous round to enter this WrestleMania championship match. They scored 55 as well.
Okay, so not bad. So both of us got 55.
Both got 55.
I'm assuming by the tone. This is not good.
Okay, next up, our table toppers. royally rumbled, who have previously won the WrestleMania championship game. They're our first ever winners, if you remember.
Yeah, I mean, we used to be we couldn't be able to beat them. We always get lucky, but we was able to.
Oh,
we was lucky on.
Oh, we beat them at the Elimination Chamber and Gold of the Pod, but they entered into this match being top of the tables. Who came out on top this time? Royally rumbled, finished with a score of 57.
Oh God, only about 2. Oh no, it's always close.
Yeah, so close.
You know, it probably did it. They probably picked I don't know, probably went for the was it the Becky one, or they went for the Charlotte one? You know, those ones that sort of should have went one way, but WWE went the other type thing. I'm assuming that's what happened.
I'll post up all the scores and that will break all of it down if anyone who's interested. Next up, we have Bottom Line Wrestlecast. And they came in by winning the NXT TakeOver League. So they only joined a couple of nights ago. Yeah,
Josh. You know, took you long enough for that one, didn't it?
Well, I was waiting to see if TakeOver was actually going to happen before actually doing it. So
yeah,
it may have been another round.
Yeah, but that was like a week. That was like a week and a bit, wasn't it? Like, you know, for a while.
Stu, anything can happen in the WWE. I was waiting until, because there were rumours that they were just going to do the TakeOver on like the Wednesday taping of NXT. I thought, okay, are they going to do something there? I have no idea.
Don't use that. Don't use their thing to use their catchphrase to try and get out of you not getting it done on time. You know.
I'll use a certain catchphrase to say, "Let me get on with it." Damn it, Stu.
Sorry. Anyway, get on with it.
Bottom Line Wrestlecast, who are also going up against us in the tag team match, which we'll get on into a second. Bottom Line Wrestlecast, number 57 to beat. Bottom Line Wrestlecast scored 61.
Yeah, good. Well, it is good.
Obviously. Well, better than us, Stu.
why is this like attack on me every time we lose that? It's your fault. Well, it's a competitive game.
Well, it is because you made. Well, yeah, because you made the predictions.
No. If I remember, we had a discussion about this beforehand. Thank you very much.
And what did I say? I said it's up to you. I can have certain ideas.
No, it was a discussion. It's always been both of us. It's just when it's good.
Damn it, Stu! Stop making excuses.
I'm not using an excuse. I'm just, you know what? Just get off it, Josh. Get off it.
And finally, we have 5 Nerds Go and Wrestling Reverb. That's Josh Robinson. So Josh Robinson was leading at the halfway stage after day 1. Josh Robinson, Wrestling Reverb, ended up with a score of 62, beating Bottom Line Wrestlecast by 1 point.
Okay, so if only I can, can I put like a drum roll? I'll try and put a drum roll in.
You can try and put a drum roll in. So 5 Nerds Go.
So yeah. So the question is.
Yes. So we have a new champion, but who is it? Is it Wrestling Reverb with 62 points, or is it 5 Nerds Go? I can tell you. 5 Nerds Go scored 65. They are our new JSPL champions.
I know for a fact they're going to be ecstatic about that because I saw it on their on our Twitter. They put, we don't think we done so well. So
well, there we go. The pessimist.
So our reign is finally over.
Our reign of terror. But surely it can't be that bad. I mean, we still have the tag titles, right?
Oh no, that's a nice cut-in. We've lost them as well, man. That's the
Retro Wrestling. Retro Wrestling scored 57. And Too Sweet, Bottom Line Wrestlecast, also scored 57. So we lost the titles by 6 points.
So it was bound to end eventually. I mean, I'm sure like no one's actually come. I mean, has anyone gone into WrestleMania in our 6-way dance as champion ever come out as champion?
No, I don't think they have.
Yeah, so it's like it would have took especially when it's 2 nights. If it was one night, it would have been fine. But it's because it's 2 nights.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh well, it was nice while it lasted.
It's nice. So just to recap, Bottom Line WrestleCast and Too Sweet Wrestling, or Too Sweet Stunners, are our JSPL Tag Champions. 5 Nerds Go are our JSPL Champions, and they will face number 1 contenders Just Because, who are also the Callaway Champions at Money in the Bank. And speaking of Money in the Bank, our current briefcase holder is Better Call Creative, and they have 2 more pay-per-views to go to cash in until they have to defend the briefcase. So that's the JSPL, all up to date, all finished for next season. We're going to be continuing again at Money in the Bank. We're going to be running our G1, we're going to be running our league, more tag title stuff, more Callaway stuff. There'll be the Royal Rumble game, there'll still be Survivor Series, so plenty to look forward to in these uncertain times.
Yes, so, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I was quite, I think it was just like, because obviously the matches we're going to talk about, some of them were just like decisions like, really? You went there?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, but oh well. To be fair, in some ways, when it comes to my whole thing I've been trying to do with the whole like we're dominating, everyone hates us because like it's this kind of like everything ends at WrestleMania anyway, so maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe.
Well, in storyline, there's always a thing where the bad, evil, authority person usually loses and all like ends at WrestleMania. So,
do we have anything like this on this WrestleMania card?
With that kind of thing?
With the actual card? Yeah.
Well, I don't think so, but we'll look into it. But anyway, so now we've got rid of the in business that had to be done.
That's right, the most important part.
Yeah, not reviewing the entire pay-per-view or anything, or 2 of them, nothing like that,
No. Was WrestleMania this weekend?
Didn't feel. I got a bunch of jokes, so it didn't feel like it. It was more of them things you had to watch it. Like, so, oh yeah, WrestleMania's on. It felt like that thing when you watch him, like that B-list card, like like Elimination Chamber or something, and you're like, oh right, yeah, I've got to watch that. It's kind of like, it's not a thing you force yourself to watch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, not glorified house show, but not as bad. I'd rather watch that and things at Performance Center in Saudi Arabia.
No, we don't. No, Saudi Arabia. That's new. No. Anyway, yes. So as always, they have a kickoff. They still had a kickoff pre-show.
Yes.
And still had a match. They only had one this time.
Well, they had one each night. They had.
So I'm going to go by that because we're going to do it by both nights and sort of classify them as different.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, nights.
Alrighty.
So so the first match obviously was they decided to put up just was it hours before? Was it a day before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or maybe the week before when they were filming it.
Well, we don't know. We keep forgetting. I keep forgetting this stuff's not live. Not this time anyway. It's all pre-taped.
It is.
We've been conditioned, mate. It's true. We've been conditioned to think it's all happening right now. Anyway, yes. So that was their pre-show match they put out was Drew Gulak versus Cesaro. I obviously again didn't watch it because it's like, again, it's always the thing. I rather watch the thing when the show actually starts. So, but you did because you put on Facebook messaged me about.
I did.
So you were quite happy with this. So if you want to go through it, really.
Well, the match wasn't particularly memorable as kind of such. They're both great technical wrestlers. When you think of like kickoffs, you think of like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but obviously because of everything that's going on, they can't do that, social distancing and whatnot. So they just had a single match, which, well, there wasn't really a feud kind of going on, but it was sort of like, well, not even like, well, they're sort of the manager kind of figures, I guess. Drew Gulak is under Daniel Bryan's wing, and Cesaro is helping out Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. The most memorable part, which was bloody amazing, and I'd love to see Cesaro do this more often, doing an airplane spin, only using his neck. Look, McMahon, no hands.
He's always been good. I mean, again, is this another example of showing that how amazing Cesaro is?
Yeah.
Because we already know how amazing he is. And it's just like, once again, this is the perfect example of us going, why are they not doing anything with this guy? The guy is a wrestling machine.
Yep.
The right push, you could be huge. But
You could be.
I guess in that ship has already sailed. No pun intended.
Looks like it. Well, nicely done. Yeah, I was wondering what pun are you talking about? Oh yeah, pirate ships. Oh yeah. Well done. So I don't remember Cesaro having a ship as part of his gimmick. Is that something new?
Your work. I don't. So yeah, so saying you watched that. So was it really good? Like in the sense of like pure wrestling type standpoint.
Yeah, fine. There's not really a lot to take in, like kind of story wise. That I can only really remember the finish. That was it. To be honest,
From the length, it says it was only like what, 4 minutes,
something like that. Yeah,
4 or 5 minutes. So, but again, it's just like one of these things. I guess if you're watching the kickoff show, I don't know. Some people do, but I don't. Just because it's like I don't. They never put anything on there that would actually mean anything for the main show. So,
no. The last one they did was the last thing they did, I think, which is relevant to the main card, was I guess Lana getting injured. So Royal Rumble last year getting injured, and as a result couldn't take place in the Royal Rumble, so Becky Lynch took her spot.
Yeah, that was actually a really good Rumble. Actually, that was a really good show. Actually.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. It's just
But watching this, another thing that I remembered this kickoff, because obviously they had Corey Graves and is it Tom Rosenthal? Who is it? Was it Tom Rosenthal?
Rosenborg, I think. Yeah, I mean he does.
Yeah,
he's there. Him and Sam Roberts. You know, the one that does these popular like radio / podcast things for wrestling. But yeah, or sort of wrestling. Yeah.
So they're doing the kickoff and they're explaining all the stories, all the matches on the card that night. Some of them for the next night, but hey ho. So when they went to the kickoff match, I thought, okay, are they? Because it was getting quite late on into the kickoff show. I'm like, are they actually going to have the kickoff match now? They've completely cancelled it. Then I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe they're going to surprise us because we haven't seen the ring yet. So had they done like a massive special thing? Had they built the pirate ship? But no. So that's another thing I can remember about the match, just being disappointed at the layout.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it, and I mean, there's so much you can do with it if you're going to go into that. Like, there's only so much you can do when there's not a lot of people around, and you can't and you've got to get this done in like a couple of days. What can you really do? I mean, I bet they had that stage set up for like months in advance.
Yeah. Well, they set up all the backstage area, no problem.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just I wasn't too bothered about it because it's like normally I would be, but it's that situation where you didn't have time really because they put backed themselves in a corner because they had to get it. The rumours were they recorded it on Thursday, not this Thursday, like 2 weeks ago or this,
Yeah.
So they probably gave it like a week or like a couple of 4 or 5 days to try and put together some sort of turn a performance centre into something that looked special. It could have been worse. It looked alright, but
could have been worse.
But again,
but it could have been so much better.
Yeah, but you could say that about that. You could say that about the whole WrestleMania in general. It could have been better, but
yeah,
it's difficult times, man. So
yeah, was it better than last year's travesty, where it was just a massive LED screen, the laziest set I've ever seen?
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is, because you can't sit there and put his money because they've got so much money. They're drowning in it. And
yeah.
I don't know, put a bit of creativity. I mean, the reason we loved all the Attitude Era stuff is because they put every stage was different. It's always different. Put a bit of effort in, but yeah. So obviously had a pre-show, and then obviously when it started, they started out with the women's tag team match, a tag team title match.
They did.
With the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Zayn, and against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And I got to be honest, I don't really know the story for this one. I mean, if there was one.
I don't think there was one. The only one was the Kairi Sane and Asuka had beaten Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for the titles previously. I only just discovered not too long ago, maybe a couple of days before the event, that they have apparently have an official tag team name, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
No.
Which is Bliss Cross Applesauce. Which sounds very, very much Disney princess, very kind of bubblegum, but it's
rubbish.
Yeah.
That's not sure. I don't know what it is. Make some, for God's sake. It's not. I mean, obviously it's hard to make. Just make a name that's cool. If you don't have a name that sounds cool, just stick to the whole you're both your names together. It's just. I mean, I don't know. Can't believe it. I didn't hear that in commentary, so I've got a feeling they're not going to publicise that. Would you?
Don't blame them.
No.
It's not as bad as Viking experience, but there we go.
Yes. Yeah. Well, give a credit. They made that. They made it into the finishing move, so at least they made they sorted that out. But yeah, rubbish name. Sorry, that's terrible. I hate that name.
Yep.
It makes me sad. That's how bad that.
Did you hate the match?
No, it was fine.
Did the match make up for it? Yeah.
Well, the problem with the match is hard to really get into it, in the sense of when you first. I haven't been watching all the shows, like sort of the ones with no crowd. So I've seen it in snippets. So when I first watched it, there was no crowd. It was just like it was kind of it's hard to get used to.
Yes.
So I was sort of like, and so watching it was just watching it, looking at it, going, "This is not the same. This doesn't feel right." For the match itself, it was a solid match as you expect. I mean, good. They work well together. I mean, I liked the bit with the what was it? The way that Asuka was being her annoying sort of like over the top self.
They're very, very chatty, which I like. You've got to fill the space, so there's going to be a lot of monologuing, and that plays a part in pretty much all the matches, I think, because there's no crowd there, so you can hear what they're saying. Yeah,
and I guess that's how it had to work, because obviously, that's how it worked. Really, I thought it worked really well in that sense, and obviously had that really cool thing where I think Asuka, then at the beginning, Asuka and Zayn were like trying to taunt Alexa Bliss, trying to wind her up, and it sort of backfired. Yeah. Well, it's sort of they did, but then it's just backfired, and then slap, and then sort of like was messing with her. So it was quite cool in that sense. It kind of worked on the characters and stuff. Yeah, I mean, another thing I pointed out is like I really hate them calling her Naughty Nikki Cross.
They're calling her Naughty Nikki. I missed that.
Yeah, no, I think it's when she was in part of the match when she done like a crossbody from the top, and sort of took out Asuka and Kabuki Zayn, and they said, "Oh, there's naughty." Michael was, that's Naughty Nikki. I'm like, you calling her that? Seriously?
What?
Like that sounds like it doesn't sound right for a kids show.
Yeah. This whole tag team, Jimmy Bliss Cross Applesauce. I thought this was a thing where Bliss would eventually turn on Cross, or maybe they'd swerve it and Cross turns on Bliss, and then eventually Cross goes back to her insane kind of self, because they immediately just thought, we'll just get rid of that when they called her up. That's what made her unique and likable.
Yeah, I know. But this is not a new thing, though, is it? In a sense, we've been saying it for ages of how it just doesn't seem right. But I mean, give them credit. They've got it is good in the sense of like, because it seems at least the Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss feels like it's actually feels like friends, like they actually are friends and stuff. So, or maybe they're just like doing, or unless they're doing like the old Nick, the Sasha Banks and Bailey thing, where they just don't have the heart to do it, to turn. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah.
Well, we'll go into that, but they might have like a slow turn now, but obviously that's night 2.
We had the slow turn 2 years ago. Anyway, no, we're getting to that later. We're getting to that way later, because it's way in the future. But yeah,
the question is, so obviously at the end, Bliss hits the Twisted Bliss on Kairi Sane, and they are the new women's tag team champions. What do they do now?
It's a good question. I mean, there's only one answer.
And hence the pause. Like, oh, okay.
And there's only one person that team. I mean, that I can think of that could work with, and that's the Iconics.
That is the Iconics.
Because that could work.
But where the hell have they gone?
I actually don't know. I mean, they've just sort of like more. What it's like. Like they just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know if one's injured or they just haven't got nothing for them or what.
Yeah, 2 potential. Obviously, yeah, coronavirus and whatnot, but I can't really think of 2 potential teams. They've just gone completely. There's the Iconics. Obviously, there was Fire and Desire, but they've disappeared. Bailey and Sasha are more like single stars. And then you've got Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, and they just disappeared. I don't know where they've gone. Obviously,
there's no tag division, mate. We've had this before. There's no women tag division. They're making the mistake of having a title reign, but then not having any titles.
No tag teams.
Have like a division.
No,
but I don't know, man. It's just I mean, it's one of the things. It's a nice moment because obviously it's like it's still the name WrestleMania, so it's still WrestleMania moment, I guess. And they won the tag titles and they won them back. It's a nice moment, but yeah, I mean, I think match-wise it was good for what it is because it's like they really were trying to really work what they had, and it was solid in that sense. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, another Scottish champion. So
yeah, they've a long Scottish champion with Gallus and Kaylee Ray, and obviously later on Drew McIntyre. What do you think about that? Someone put a little picture of that together with all of them with a Scottish flag, obviously. What do you think about that as a potential faction?
Yeah, I'll be up for that. I mean, I think because you all know all of them can go. It wouldn't be like a situation of looking and go, oh, why are they in it? It's like they're all like really good. I mean, what would it? The question is, what would it be called? You know, they would use like a really like gimmick, like not gimmick, but sort of like
the Scottish Express.
Oh no! I was thinking they use something like Braveheart or something.
Yeah,
or
the Iron Bros.
They probably would use that actually.
That Iron Bros.
Oh god, they why not? You know, but I do like the idea because I think it would work. But then I only would work if like Drew was the leader and he turned heel again. But it's too early for him.
I agree.
But yeah, in the future though, definitely I'd be up for that.
For sure.
But back to this match though. After this, like Nikki, who do you think? What about Asuka and Kairi Sane? What are you gonna do now? Because Asuka's like, I can see her going against like Baszler.
Yeah, another match, bit of retribution. I think there's potential to do a breakup kind of story with the Kabuki Warriors. Otherwise, like for the sake of the tag team division, you'd keep them together because there's no other teams. Otherwise, just get them to feud with each other. I mean, ideally, I'd like them to have done an angle for WrestleMania. You know, and Kairi Sane is the Pirate Princess, and she doesn't get to do anything. She doesn't get to do like an abseiling kind of thing from a sail or swords. Nothing. Not even not walking a plank or not even having like a parrot. You know. I'm pissed off about no parrot. No wonder, because I looked at Kairi Sane, and if you watch Kairi Sane, she looks really sad. I'm not quite sure whether it's just the character or if it generally is Kairi Sane going, oh, I was meant to have my Shawn Michaels-esque kind of moment coming down from one of the sails, like on a rope swing or something.
Well, you've heard rumours that the staff, well not staff, the wrestlers were like not really happy that they have to keep working, in the sense of not because they don't want to like put on a show, but it's like these are times when you want to be at home with your family to make sure they're safe. Yeah, and some of them are being sort of said, yeah, we're still open. It's like it just doesn't feel right. I mean, it's just one man, isn't it? It's just Vince. Yeah, well, we could have a discussion about that. Should this show have happened in general? But you know, I guess I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, yeah. So this match was. There goes the whole like, oh, we're gonna go brisk through all the matches. Yeah, there goes that idea. Let's try and brisk through another one now. What is the next match? That'd be easy. Easy, you know. King Corbin versus Elias.
Yeah, so story-wise, I'm not quite sure what the hatred was beforehand, but King Corbin, does the whole long live the king thing, Lion King, knocking Elias off the podium. Elias falls, bang, pretty much should have broken his spine. They do a storyline.
Weird cutting of the angle, wasn't it? If you look at...
it was just trying to make it look like, because obviously if Elias had dropped from there onto a concrete floor, he would have broken his back. They cut it away.
I know, but it just looked obvious. It looked obvious. I mean,
of course it looked obvious, yeah. So then King Corbin does a thing with he plays off that he is going to win 2 WrestleManias in a row, and the last one he beat Kurt Angle. He retired Kurt Angle.
Thanks for managing.
That's true. That's true. That's damn true. Unfortunately, he wants to win the match by forfeit because Elias is not there. Elias turns up, brawl on the outside. Elias hits King Corbin with a bit of an equalizer, smashing him over the back with a guitar. The only damage that Elias has is the strapping to his shoulder when you thought he shouldn't be able to walk after what happened to him.
Yeah, but you know, wrestling is sort of like always like these are the superstars. They can take anything. Yeah, even falling from a balcony or from the top of a balcony. But yeah,
this was like a brawl kind of a match. You weren't expecting like a technical masterclass, but it's just beat downs, some brutal shots, but ultimately it was not a WrestleMania match for me.
No, it was a kickoff pre-show match. Let's be honest. No offense.
Yeah, or something that would happen like a payoff in the Battle Royal kind of thing,
or on a SmackDown or something, or just a random SmackDown.
Yeah, certainly not. Was this match longer? I think this match was long. Well, it was longer than both the world title matches. We both know why that was. And was it longer than the following match? It was longer than, or around about the same length as Becky and Shayna, as well.
That's why
he was given more time.
That's actually really worrying. Actually, let me just check. Cause I've got the match. It was.
Yeah, it was
nearly 10 minutes. It was 9 minutes.
Yeah,
a bit too long.
It was longer. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it took longer than it should have. The refereeing was great, though. I thought the referee was really good. I don't know what her name is, but she wasn't putting up with any of Corbin's crap. That was quite nice.
Yeah, I think I liked sort of the situation of like you can actually hear Corbin be a dick. It's the only good thing about having no crowd. You can hear him like properly like use I don't use character sort of stuff actually, because obviously sometimes in wrestling they use it by the moveset and what they do, but then it is sometimes nice to see a bit of trash talking and you can actually hear it. Kind of like, because Corbin is good at being that dick as much as he's good at being that guy you just want someone to hit.
Yes,
but yeah, I mean I kind of like the ending with the sort of like he tried to do the roll up and or use the foot on the ropes, but she saw it. And obviously then was Elias rolled him up and pulled the tights, and he tasted his own medicine and got the win.
Tasted his own medicine, yep.
But yeah, then that was it really. It's like, yeah, he won, then boom, cut.
Yeah, that was it. Corbin was pissed off, bitching, moaning heel. Got his comeuppance. That was that. Elias as a babyface, like for me, like Elias, you need the crowd there. And it's just not the same. No,
I mean when Elias turned up after when he shouldn't be there, it was like normally you would hear like the crowd. You knew where it was supposed to be. Where like you hear the guitar, and then it's just like usually the crowd usually go nuts. But then in this case, it was just a situation of like just King Corbin's eyes of just like, oh my god, he's here. We're like, it felt off. But there's certain moments that didn't work. But yeah, I mean. I guess they've done what most people do, sort of like he had a gimmick, it worked for a while, and then they've just sort of lost, got bored of him. So he's just there.
Let him be an enjoyable heel. Let him turn up, slate the hometown. Let him get booed. Let him get his ass kicked. Occasionally get the win.
Yeah, just cheap heat. It's as simple. It's heel wrestling 101. It's cheap heat, and it always works because no one likes being told you suck. No one likes it.
It sold much like his EP. I mean, I love the EP. It was brilliant as a heel. You're used to it now when he's a face. I'm like, no.
Well, if I haven't listened to that, I haven't listened to that in a while actually. Might check that out. Anyway, yes. So we're brisk for that. Yeah. So that was meh. All right. That shouldn't have been on the card. Let's go on to something that I was really looking forward to.
Yeah, as was I. Very surprised. We're probably going to say the same thing. Very surprised it's this low down on the card.
Yeah, but I think I'll let it off in the sense, in this case, it's because it's not really a normal WrestleMania, so it's sort of like, what is it doing there? It doesn't really apply here, sort of.
Wouldn't necessarily say that. I think because it's the equivalent of, well, it's one of the top titles in the company. You would have thought it had been in the upper mid card at least.
Yeah, but then you've put on, obviously when we get into the second night, obviously the NXT title was the first, and then obviously the Smack. If you went by where they are on the card, of like if WrestleMania Part 1 and 2 was a whole show, technically the SmackDown title is more important than the Raws. Yeah. But that's only if you put positioning, but that obviously doesn't really matter. But I mean, this one, I guess when you've got the main event, we obviously knew was the Undertaker versus AJ in a, was it? A
Boneyard match.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, basically, Buried Alive match, just with a new name. But yeah, so. I guess I would have personally put this like fourth, maybe before the Intercontinental title match, maybe. But it's fine. So but the match itself, what do you think of the match itself? I mean, would you enjoy it?
I was quite disappointed, to be honest, especially the the beginning of it. I thought that Shayna was just really going to come out of the box and just kick the crap out of Becky. It was very much like evenly paced. I thought they could have gone a lot more brutal. I think Charlotte and Ripley was a much better example. Even though there's more heat to this match for sure. I mean, Shayna took a chunk out of Becky's neck, for Christ's sake.
I know this is a perfect example of a match that suffered because of there being no crowd there.
Yeah, could they have done something like that? Could Becky have bitten Shayna? That would have been quite nice.
No, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
because that could play into obviously the finish. Obviously there were lovely moments where Shayna is, she's got someone's legs tied around her neck and just swinging them into the announce tables, like she did that to Becky the week beforehand. She also did that to Liv Morgan Elimination Chamber, and that looks so brutal. Yeah, it looks so cool. Yeah, I love that as a move.
And also she had the bit where they kept trying to hit each other's finishes, or like sort of like, or like, was it Shayna Baszler at the time had like Becky in the disarmer?
That's right. Yeah,
and that kind of stuff. I guess in the story into that is sort of like. Like I'm MMA. I know submissions. I can hit it better than you can. That kind of stuff. But I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the finish. The finish and the result, of course. What? Why? I don't get the storyline like this again. We're here again, where we go into a match where there's a finish where it should be, and then there's always they do the complete opposite of what it should be.
Yeah.
Why did Becky need to win?
Now, there are some similarities here. Going back to Shayna Baszler's, like one of her first feuds, or like for the NXT title with Ember Moon. Shayna Baszler was in complete control, absolutely dominating. Like, is Ember gonna tap? Is she gonna have her arm broken and whatnot? Just really, really struggling. And it's only until she can flip out at the last second to pin Shayna, much like Becky did for the 1, 2, 3, and that didn't make Shayna didn't make her look weak at all. It's based on reaction as well. She was pissed off about that she's missed this opportunity, and then the following takeover tries it again, but Shayna's smart and actually manages to finish the job this time, choking Ember out. I'm not too concerned. Well, I think either Shayna wins like completely dominantly, and that's a complete, that causes Becky to have like a kind of another character change, because she was being very egotistical at this point. She's got her own monster truck. She's doing all the PR and everything like that. She's got like these big kind of coats and like sunglasses, very much the kind of Conor McGregor kind of swagger.
Yeah.
Because you're the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, you're going to be confident. You're going to have a little bit of ego. Or they could have done something similar with the Ember Moon kind of thing. Or again, playing back as well, even to the bite thing. So it could have been in that position here for the choke, or even she rolls up to the pin and she's biting on Shayna. That's how she gets her like pinned down. So Shayna's struggling, but she's being bitten, so she can't lift the shoulder. Something like, do you know what I mean?
I can totally get why they weren't doing that, because obviously the situation we're all in at the moment.
Yeah, make sure not to bite people. Yeah, you're not supposed to wrestle people either.
No,
you're not supposed to be in contact at all.
I know, but I see where they're going with
this.
But
they wouldn't even...
So, keep going.
But that would have been great, and then it would be kind of like that was quite a heelish thing for Becky to do, or even like Shayna just get some heat back, just choke her out afterwards. Because when Shayna lost, it was like she obviously massively disappointed, but you'd be pissed, wouldn't you? You've been so dominant at the Royal Rumble, so dominant Elimination Chamber,
and then just to lose in a roll-up, that dreaded roll-up of doom, the roll-up of doom.
Dreaded roll-up of doom, and just sat in the corner pretty much not crying, but it doesn't make you look good.
No, it's just, I know it's like that storyline you're talking about, the Ember Moon one, but that works because Shayna Baszler has been built up for months and months and months, right? Like we're talking about.
Yeah, well, it's the same here. Yeah, it's the same here when she came in, like Survivor Series. That stare down she had with Becky in the build-up of Survivor Series was amazing. She came in, dominated the Royal Rumble, dominated Elimination Chamber. It was done over those 4 or 5 months. That made sense. It was exactly the same. Becky Lynch just needed to escape with the title with the skin of her teeth by literally biting someone, something like that.
I'm guessing that's what they're trying.
That would have been interesting.
I think that's what they're trying here, though.
Because
it was a roll. It wasn't
was,
really a roll.
But
counter the sort of counter the clutch, Caligo clutch, and then sort of she rolls up, just get the pin and runs. It's like I can see what she's trying to do, but it kind of didn't work here for me because I think it was too short.
Yeah, it's because the roll up happened. There wasn't really much kind of brutality and control from Shayna. It's very evenly matched. Because Becky, as soon as she got the roll up, just kind of lifting the title, yeah, I'm the best, and left.
It just
that. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I remember when it was setting up for that stare down at that was when he had the Survivor Series match, and it was just one word, and it was just that stare down. It's like, oh mate, WrestleMania, it's gonna be great, right? And then it just, I guess in this match totally suffered for the coronavirus thing, with not being in the crowd and not really being a big spectacle.
I don't think it suffered the build up was fine. Even with everything that was going on, they built it fine. With the interviews and attacking from behind, smashing them into each other into the announce table, that was fine. It was just the booking of this match was the biggest letdown.
I know.
They had scope. They had scope to do so much more. What was the point of doing all that dominating, literally dominating, even choking out Asuka? Dominating Asuka, eliminating everyone at the Elimination Chamber, which no one had ever done up to that point. The closest was Braun Strowman, but he lost to Roman Reigns, and then horrible flashbacks about Reigns and Lesnar at WrestleMania. But anyway,
thanks, Josh.
Yeah, what was the point of establishing all that dominance and then not even having a dominant display?
We're here again, man. We're here again. Where they I know sometimes you've got to build some of them up to try and make them a credible threat, but you got to pay it off sometimes. I know it's just she's only being back up, main roster for a couple of months, but I think there's talk around online. It's because there was rumours that Vince is sort of gone cold with Shayna Baszler.
Why?
I don't know. He's the guy changed his mind every 2 seconds, right?
What? Because she doesn't sell T-shirts?
I don't think so. I think it's just just sometimes he just doesn't get it. And because if he doesn't get it, but I don't think, I don't know. There's a possible reason why they booked it this way. But unless she wins it, if Money in the Bank happens, she wins it there. But then again, it's the same problem.
Yeah.
That'd be fine if it's a situation where Becky got skin of her teeth, and then Money in the Bank is a situation of a stipulation match, wherever, have a submission match maybe. That could work, and then then obviously Baszler finally chokes her out. It's you can't pin anymore. Only way you can beat me is by trying to make me tap, and I'll never tap. So that then, if they did that,
a submission match between Baszler and Becky, I'd be very welcome to.
Yeah, I think that could work. I think if they do that, I might. Again, it's like anything. Now it's what are you doing? But if it afterwards leads onto something like that, it'd be fine. But at the moment, it's just wrong decision here. Bad one.
I don't think wrong decision, because I'm open to Becky retaining, but it had to be by skin of her teeth. This was even contest. That was wrong.
Yeah.
That was completely wrong.
But
because now who does Becky go against? Oh, obviously Shayna, but then you're just righting a wrong that you just did. Because Shayna now looks stupid.
Yeah. It's like everything. It's now she's like everybody else.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Back of the line.
That's the problem with WWE. It's always been a problem. It's always a problem. We've always been up for years. But it's everyone's the same. Everyone's only people that are unbeatable, like Brock. Becky to a point, I guess. But sort of that kind of feeling that sort of everyone's just everyone's the same. No one's better than everybody else. Shayna Baszler is should have been pushed what she was in NXT. Another example, she should be huge. She should be this
she should have been pushed how she was booked up until the event.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just we're glutton for punishments with this. We always do this. Bigs up, and it always at some point disappoints. So it's amazing what a year makes, because I remember Becky. We were big on Becky. Still am in some points, but her momentum's definitely gone down, and because of the whole she's got the same problem sometimes. With Austin. Austin was at his best when he was chasing the title. Never when he had it.
Yep.
When he was too good, but you know what I mean. The story, it's always the good. The chase is better than the actual. But anyway, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, we've done it again.
You always got to have something to chase.
Yeah, it's much more. It's the same. It's always that kind of thing. When you finally reach your dream, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's fine. We'll see what they do with the Raw. That obviously is pre-taped. So it happened a week ago, but
Yep.
we'll find out. Find out tonight.
We'll find out.
Oh,
yeah.
Then we go into next month. A match that I was kind of looking forward to. We're talking about the Intercontinental title match between Bryan and Sami Zayn.
Yeah. If you take any story out of the equation for this, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn on paper. Oh yes, please.
Yeah,
that'd be lovely.
Yeah, but I kind of like the story of this in the sense of the whole Sami Zayn playing basically the chicken shit heel. But doing it in such an entertaining way. Mm-hmm. He reminds me of Kurt Angle, sort of he was that kind of cheating chicken shit heel, but it was so damn entertaining. It was just, I just love it, because it's I think I saw an interview at Elimination Chamber when he was doing it backstage, and he was Cesaro, and even Cesaro when Sami Zayn was talking, you can see he was trying not to laugh because he's supposed to be serious.
Yeah. I think even the interviewers laugh a couple of times as well.
He just goes overboard. He just goes. Some of the stuff he says is just okay, Sammy, you've gone a bit mental, but okay, we'll let you off this time.
He's the great liberator. Yeah.
Oh yes, but yeah, I mean, I'm loving it. I mean, I think it's they're finally starting to see the character that we always knew he had. Against obviously Bryan, that's had a really good match at Elimination Chamber with Drew Gulak. I really did enjoy that match.
He did.
And then now obviously it's a mentor sort of thing where he's mentoring Drew Gulak in some ways. That's right. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed this match a lot.
I enjoyed this match. I would say I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn. I loved him as a face, and when he was chasing for the titles as well. His feud with Kevin Owens. I'd love to see him as face again at some point. I would say I like the chicken shit stuff. That made sense. Went off a little bit too long for my liking. I'd like to have seen Sami Zayn. I'd like to see Sami Zayn fight on when Cesaro and Shinsuke got taken out and he had to fight on his own. I'd like to see him just show that little bit more character, a little bit more fight, so that he is legitimate and he can still go. He's not just a cheater. He can actually put on one of the best technical wrestling matches of the night.
Yeah, he sort of his style has definitely changed as well, because obviously now he doesn't do much of the high flying as much. It's more of a ground and pound type person now. Sort of because I haven't seen him do anything like the proper jumped suicide dives or anything like that.
Well, he's hardly been wrestling at all.
Yeah, I think they just felt he's just really good as a manager. He really is good, because he's got that kind of animated sort of, and he's really good at really good at the promos, and obviously he can speak up. People like Cesaro and Nakamura, Shinsuke Nakamura, because obviously their strength isn't promos really. Sadly, their strength is in-ring ability, so it kind of works. I kind of like it, but this match it was just it was more of him trying to find a way to get away from Daniel Bryan, and as you said, when Cesaro and Nakamura got taken out by, I kind of like the thing with the Drew Gulak was going to try and stop him. And then Danny Bryan was like, "Oh, let him go." You knew where it was going, but it was just funny because Sami Zayn was like, "Oh, that's a good decision." Thinking it was actually going to happen.
That's right. You can have the win, and I can keep the title. Fine, okay.
He was like, Sami Zayn was so desperate to get out of there. He must be thinking, "Oh yeah, fine," and just of course that's not going to work, Sami. Come on. And then he got attacked, and it was just a whole match of him just trying to survive, basically. Mm-hmm. And in some ways, and then obviously the finish was really cool, where Danny Bryan went on top and hitting that really cool in mid-air haluba kick. It's quite nice.
It's lovely.
Then I have to admit, obviously, it's you have that sort of feeling when you have an end of a match, that because we're so used to having massive moves and massive hits, and then someone kicking out of it again. It's I was expecting him to kick out,
I was expecting a kick out. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this one, it was interesting. Like, Sami Zayn holding on to title. I was like, for our prediction thing, I was like, oh, of course he bloody did, didn't he? But for like, in the sense of like story, and it works. It means, they're doing exactly what I want other people to do, like sort of like the chase. Yeah.
Is it returning the favour as well from 2 years ago when Bryan beat Zayn when he was in the tag team with Shane against Zayn and Owens? When Daniel Bryan returned.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Walkabout. I loved that because it was like we can finally do the yes chant again. It was so cool.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, but I like the story. I like it's going to be a sort of like Danny Bryan's going to be like, I'm going to get you eventually, Sami. You might have got away with it this time, but eventually that title is going to be mine.
Yeah.
Or
eventually,
Gulak turns on Danny Bryan and we have a match of like sort of betrayal or something like that.
When we see Gulak has finally learned that he overcomes Bryan, maybe.
But
I'd like to see Daniel Bryan. Oh, go on.
Or he turns and he turns on Danny Bryan and joins Sami Zayn's faction, or whatever it's called. I don't know what it actually is, but I mean that could work. I mean, we do need more factions and factions in WWE. There's not enough of them.
Yeah. I'd like to see those matches run. I'd happy to see Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn again. I'd like to see Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Nakamura. You know.
I think again. I think
good list of people there.
Yeah, just have that sort of feeling of just like they've all. I think again, it's like I don't know if I said it before, like the SmackDown 6 type thing, where it's just like they've got all these wrestlers that can go against each other really well and put on really top quality matches.
Yes,
you can have Nakamura versus Danny Bryan. You can have Danny Bryan versus Danny Bryan versus Cesaro, and you can have Drew Gulak versus them all, and then you can have all
triple threats, fatal four ways. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I mean, I love it. I mean, this is great in the sense that you got all these people, great workers in pure wrestling. They're brilliant. So I'm definitely up for this, and obviously I'm a bit shocked that Sami won, but storyline wise, it makes sense. And
it's nice to see Sami Zayn have a WrestleMania win, though.
Well, it's nice to him to get the title, and then he got his first WrestleMania. Yeah. What a good month! What a good couple of months for Sami Zayn. I'm happy for him.
It is. I'm very happy for Sami Zayn too.
Yes. So now we should talk about another matches on SmackDown. Let's talk about the a match that was changed last minute. I think this was due to the Miz apparently being ill. Yes. So I guess, and if you obviously didn't want to cancel the match, so they came up with, I give them credit, some sort of creative idea to try and keep the match going. Yeah. So we're talking about the SmackDown Tag Team Title match, ladder match. That was supposed to be John Morrison and the Miz versus the Usos and the New Day. But as I said, just the Miz, the rumor is that he was ill, so he couldn't travel or be there. So they done a thing where one member of respected team was chosen for obviously the Miz Morrison. John Morrison was picked. For New Day, it was Kofi Kingston, and for the Usos, it was Jimmy Uso.
I feel really bad for Jay and Big E.
Yeah, I suppose he wasn't there. I don't know if it's a situation if they were also ill as well, or just like they thought, you don't have to be involved in this or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think it still could have worked that that kind of conflict between the Usos and New Day, and they almost not ignore, but they overlook Morrison and Miz. Well, just Morrison. If Morrison's just on his own, do you remember when there was that big like multi-man tag team ladder match on Raw? This was years ago, and Kane was without a partner, and he went and won it. It was the same sort of thing, but obviously Kane won it just through sheer just power and strength. Yeah,
I don't know. It was weird. After me, it was. I got the concept of this match because it's like, well, you can do a ladder match. It's just like you have to get both titles. That's it. It still worked because obviously I think Morrison is great because he's parkour and the kind of things he can do are crazy. He's always been that. Kofi Kingston as well. Kofi Kingston. We know what to do with Kofi Kingston. And obviously Jimmy Uso or any Uso is great in these matches. So. Yeah, I mean, personally, what did you think of it? Was this a pretty solid ladder match? Did you enjoy it like as most ladder matches without a crowd?
Yeah, I enjoyed this ladder match. I like the back chatting and the monologue as well. Like as it was throughout the night. So one of the best lines from the WrestleMania weekend was Jimmy Uso going, "Flatten your face like a pancake." I did laugh.
Yeah, I like the trash talking. I gotta be honest, I do like it because it just adds. If you can't add the crowd, at least you can add the sort of them nice one-liners and sort of like, like sort of using bigging up the character versions of their characters, being arrogant and sort of like, don't do it enough. But yeah, I mean,
it's very, very rare at the beginning as well when they start off. They all grab a ladder. It's like, okay, we're going straight into this. No messing about.
Yeah, sorry, I just I got totally confused by many things. But yeah, I mean, what about?
But were you still thinking about the Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler booking? Was it?
Well, making notes, but write it down, send it to WWE and say, this is what you should have been doing. Come on. But no, just because I think of my notes now, I just got confused. But anyway, it's not important. Anyway, yeah. What about? That's cool stuff for this as well with the whole we had that, was it Starship Paint, like from the top with was it Jimmy and on the ladder that was quite cool.
Pushing Jimmy off the ladder and he falls right on the outside. That looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it looked good
even though we didn't see the landing.
I mean, there were so many spots in this. It was with some say right with ladder matches. There's so much you can do now because there's so many of them. What more unique spots can you do?
Yeah.
But I mean.
So now, you're having to use ladders as tables as well.
Yeah, Paul. Obviously, obviously talking about the finish. Obviously, with the whole thing with the ladder, and then you had the ladder. Then you had another ladder bridging the gap, from the rope to the usual stuff. So you can use it. It's not nothing new there. Then obviously you had the thing at the end with the whole all climbing up. John Moss climbing up, Kofi's climbing up, and then Jimmy gets another ladder, and then he climbs up, and they're all doing the whole like picture scene that they always like to use in ladder matches where everyone's grabbing for the title. But I gotta be honest, the finish was unique. I give him that.
It was unique and it was right for the story they were telling.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the figure where it's just like they finally got the thing off the hook back in the days when they didn't used to have this big thing.
Yeah.
Then he took off and it was like, oh, they got it. Who's gonna win? And then, oh, wait a minute, there's no titles on it. And he looked down and his Morrison's fell off, hit the ladder below, and sort of got off both of the titles. And you're like, oh, and it's and then you see a replay and it's just like he grabbed him before he was pushed off. So he's pure. It goes on the whole pure luck thing. You basically, he was that was a left with skin of his teeth. He was very lucky to come out with the titles.
Again, this was the thing where you'd get that big audience reaction. So when it happened, Morrison takes the titles and falls onto a ladder, winning the match. And you got Jimmy and Kofi on top of the ladder, just staring at each other, as if they kind of look of oh, that wasn't how it's supposed to end. It looked like kind of like a mistake that they made during a show or whatever. Right, but it was actually meant to happen, but it looked like a mistake. It's okay, can we go again?
I guess
let's reset.
I guess they're trying to play on that because I always like that. I always like that kind of feeling. It's I remember when one time when the Undertaker streak ended and 1, 2, 3, and my mate was always to sit there and go, they botched that, they messed it up. It's no, mate, that happened. No, that
happened.
So it's maybe that's what they did here, made you have that feeling of they screwed that up there, but really it's no, you didn't. That happened.
Nope.
It was planned. Don't panic. But yeah. But I mean, this is what we expect from these three, right? Just give them this match was nearly was it about 18 minutes long, nearly 20 minutes. Just give them 15, 20 minutes. Let them do their thing, and it always pays off. I mean, it was good. I mean, I've seen better ladder matches, but you could say that about anything. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not exactly Edge and Christian against Hardys and Dudleys, but solid ladder match. I'd say probably one of the matches, if not the best match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I put on my notes.
It's one of.
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, if you look at the spectacle, I mean, my match when I was watching this before, obviously the matches near the end of this night one.
Yes.
I was loving the Darren Bryan and Sami Zayn was my match of the night. At this point, because of this, just the whole they really utilised the idea. Well, there's no crowd, so it's used the whole character thing, and Sami really went for it. So
let's do it.
But that's just
they did.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So it was a good match. I mean, they probably do a rematch where it's just the all three of them, or they put Otis and Taco in there to make it a fatal four-way, and then have a four-way for the title maybe, or do it again. I don't know. But yeah,
or have a series. I wouldn't I wouldn't mind a series between the New Day and the Usos.
Ah, yes.
I'd like the Usos to be heel again. I thought they were epic as heels.
Yeah, but I'm guessing they've got the whole problem is now because everyone loved their characters, they would be cheered. So what's the point? When you think about it,
yeah.
Unless you do something really devastating, like Chuck, like Kofi off the stage or something, proper you can't stuff so evil and heelish that even you can be like, yeah, I've got to boo that. You can't be killing people like that. You can't be doing that. But anyway, yeah. So after that match, I mean, we did enjoy it actually. And then you've got a match a feud that was a bit meh in the sense I feel anyway. Is obviously Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
It went on for far too long. I think there were too many people involved. You heard your Authors of Pain, then Buddy Murphy got involved, and Samoa Joe and the Viking Raiders, and then the Street Profits. Okay, this is getting far too much. And then the same issue of how you kill a tag team division is just give two single wrestlers who've only just been a team for a week and give them the tag titles. Unless both of those guys are established world champions, I don't really buy it. It's like when Stone Cold and Triple H, they beat Undertaker and Kane, legitimate tag team, but that made sense because they were two dominant world champions and they were also WWF champion and Intercontinental champion.
It works in that sense, but I don't know. It's just because obviously Seth. The only reason Seth is heel because basically everyone turned on him after the Bray Wyatt thing.
Yeah,
it couldn't.
I don't think they turned him. I think they didn't turn on Seth. I think they turned on WWE at that point, but then Seth didn't do himself any favors, and we've covered this as well. Just the stupid tweets.
Yeah, I'm
just saying stupid things like "I make more money than you." That's not relevant at all. But
things
that are being presented in front of us.
Yeah, I give myself some credit in some ways. I never really put anything stupid on Twitter. I mean, I put stuff on Twitter, but I don't put anything opinionated, really. Or I try not to in the sense that I don't want to. What's the point of doing that? I don't get it personally, but yeah. So, but I mean, the whole Monday Night Messiah thing it's fine, I guess. It's sort of it's a cool idea, I guess.
I thought they were gonna maybe pay this off and have a Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy feud, Murphy feud.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the feud. That's going to be the big. It's going to be a split already. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about this again. Talking about the match. I mean, Kevin Owens. I mean, it's nice to see him actually give him a feud of being sort of like the Austin figure in this, trying to take out this big authority threat. But yeah, I mean, this match was pretty cool. I mean, he had some cool moments. You obviously had the bit with one thing I always hate seeing in that was Kevin Owens matches now is his pop-up powerbomb isn't his finisher anymore.
Yeah, I know. I like the pop-up powerbomb. I guess maybe I'd like him to have sold his back a bit more when, especially, he got slammed onto the hardest part of the ring and then Falcon Arrowed. That was lovely. I thought that was going to play a big factor. It didn't too much, but Seth Rollins, taunting, going, "This is your WrestleMania moment, is it? This is why you're always a failure."
This is why it kind of works,
and everything.
Because I like that.
Yeah,
this is trash talking. They're both good at it. So
yeah, when they covered a week or two before on Raw, where Seth's like, "Have you seen my WrestleMania record? I've been world champion. I've beaten Triple H. I won the Intercontinental Championship. Every time you appear at WrestleMania, you've lost. Even last year, you weren't even on the card."
It's not.
That's simple enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got to talk about the sort of false finish situation in this match. It was kind of unnecessary in some ways.
It was unnecessary, but I can see why Seth did it. It's a similar thing to what Sami Zayn was trying to do. Just get out the match. But yeah, Kevin Owens has his moment, but he didn't really beat the Messiah.
Yeah, I get storyline wise, and essentially, you get disqualified, so it's he can finally, he doesn't really get his moment. But on some ways, if they really wanted to have a no disqualification match, why not just change it last minute and just make it a no disqualification match? Then you can do the whole the bit that obviously the really big spot they did with Kevin Owens going to the top of the WrestleMania sign. And basically doing it, was it an elbow drop or a cannonball or something like that? Or not a cannonball, but sort of
It was an elbow drop, yeah. And he said afterwards, how's this for a WrestleMania moment? Boom. Elbow drops. Yeah,
saw that
that's
and
the
I was like,
WrestleMania that was cool.
That would have been so. The crowd would love that if they were there.
Yeah.
I know I was saying for the show, but we've got so much more to talk about. But yeah, I mean, Kev, that stunner looked a bit. I mean, I don't know if it's just when it felt a bit off to me, the stunner. I mean, I don't know if it's just it just looked a bit weird, or maybe it's because I've been focusing on it too much because you haven't got a crowd to distract you, I guess. But yeah, overall, what did you think of this match? I mean,
yeah, I thought that match was fine. They always put on like a good match, but I'm just thinking in terms of like a WrestleMania build. When you think of Seth Rollins, and he's always had like massive WrestleMania moments, those kind of matches. So whether this match needed the US title or something, I don't know. But Kevin Owens needed something big to do at WrestleMania following last year not being there and constantly losing. So it was nice to see him get the win. But this feud, there was far too many people. I was half expecting like Viking Raiders, Samoa Joe, Officer Payne, Murphy to run in, especially no disqualification. I'm like, oh, here we go. I know what's going to happen now, and no one's there. We know why that is.
Yeah,
obviously.
That probably would have been the thing.
But that would have been the thing. Yeah.
But yeah,
it would have been very much like when Seth Rollins entered into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. But like anything, it's just it didn't have the. It could have been better in the sense of the story was fine, but it was fine. It was all right. But I mean, them two can go. So I assume there would be.
They can.
The question is this the end of it, or is it just the start of something? Would you say?
I can see them still doing this. I really can. I don't know what does Seth Rollins move on to. If he's lost, is that when his faction starts then turning on him, or?
I don't know. I hope not, because I just like factions, and I'm not loving the faction, but it's just we need more factions in WWE. Because they can finally have faction warfare. That's why matches in NXT against the Undisputed Era versus like Imperium and all them other stuff. Well, they kind of work because it's like there's established factions that have been dominant, and it kind of works. So why don't they do that here? I'm not saying I love this faction, but we need to be together longer than just a couple of months for one feud, and then they just disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that was it's good. That'd be cool. It's good to see Kevin Owens finally got his moment. So
yes,
but now we get into a match that blink and you miss it. We're talking about the match that was obviously changed a week before or a couple of days before for Roman Reigns, because he just obviously because of his leukemia and that kind of stuff, he didn't want to risk travelling. That's fair enough,
of course. So
they had to change. Obviously, he was going against Goldberg for the Universal title, so they had to change it quickly. So for this, they chose to replace him. They took Braun Strowman. That's an interesting choice. I mean, if you look at it storyline-wise, the guy just lost his Intercontinental title, and all of a sudden he gets thrusted into the Universal title scene.
Well, Roman Reigns just inserted himself into the Universal title match as well. Oh, by the way, I'm next. All right, you're not going to qualify or anything? Any matches? No. Okay, we'll just set this up then.
You could sit there and say about the John Cena Bray Wyatt match. I'm not. Oh, people have to. I think people have to earn their shots. They can't just someone just says I want to go to WrestleMania and have a match. 2 seconds later, Bray Wyatt or the Fiend comes out and puts to the side, and John Cena goes, "Yeah, okay." So it's like.
But bear in mind that storyline, that feud kind of makes sense based on the context. But we'll get into that. Because there is a lot of context.
Ooh, I mean, to be fair, we could do a whole episode on just that match, analyse the hell out of it. But anyway, wasn't the point of why I brought it up, to be fair.
So, yeah, to review this match, it was 3 spears, kick out, spear, kick out, 4 power slams, 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman is your new Universal Champion.
Yes, that's basically only 2 minutes 44 this match was. And I mean, every time I love the way he tried. He knew he was never going to hit the jackhammer. We all knew it. He was going to go for it.
We knew he's never going to hit the jackhammer. He could barely hit a jackhammer on the Fiend.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But yeah, we all knew sort of where it was going. Because obviously, funny enough, on the prediction, we did put Goldberg first.
We did.
But then,
well, I say we did. You did.
Yeah, but then I changed my mind. Give me some credit.
Yeah, you did. Well done.
Thank you. It's nice.
Still lost the title though.
Can't give me anything, man. Don't get any props, you know. Anyway.
Nope.
But yeah, it's like Braun Strowman won. I mean, it was. You could have easily not had this match at all, but I guess when you've got Goldberg, it's a limited fashion. He's not going to be staying around, so just get it over with.
I'm sure if there was a live crowd, they may have changed. Just say if the pandemic was still going on, but you were still allowed to compete, and say Roman Reigns wasn't able to take part, they could have done a whole thing of who is going to challenge Goldberg. I mean, this is just fantasy booking. You could have had Matt Riddle come out. You could have had The Fiend, after he's dismantled John Cena, he can come out and finally get revenge on Goldberg, win the title back, you know.
Might be. I mean, the cool thing is he's probably going to get the title back eventually now, because now Braun Strowman's got it.
Well, Roman Reigns will get it probably, because that was probably the plan anyway. Yeah. I'm kind
of liking. I just had a thought, like this Braun Strowman thing. Like there's like if the Fiend or like Bray Wyatt, it can work on the whole like retribution of the past, you know, because obviously he used to be part of the Wyatt family.
Well, it's the same with Reigns as well.
Yeah, so it kind of works, but
they both make sense. They both have history.
Yeah, so that could work if that's the way they're going to go with it. But yeah, but we all know Braun Strowman is just a title placeholder until Roman Reigns can come back, and then he'll win it again.
Pretty much. Well, they couldn't have Braun Strowman lose this match, because going into this, like Braun, he was the biggest thing, like literally and figuratively as well, in WWE, and yet they kept giving it to Roman. They had an opportunity for him to take it off Brock twice, didn't. Then he lost. When he lost the second time around, okay, his momentum's completely gone. He's no longer like a credible world title contender. You've completely killed all his momentum. He's added into this match, when you could say like he's just an attraction now. He's like the Big Show, and his momentum's like just completely dead and buried. And if Goldberg had have won this match, this would just have been the equivalent of pissing on Braun Strowman's grave. That's what it would have been.
Pretty much. Oh damn! I just realised that is a really good, except for the pissing on the grave bit, a really good segue. Yeah.
It's an excellent segue. I did think of that. Yeah.
Was it on the top of your head, or was it more of a?
That was deliberate. I thought about that.
Oh, cool.
Although I missed that part of the segment where Undertaker just whizzed on AJ's grave. I completely missed it.
No, maybe I turned my laptop off after, or just turned it off after the match when he did that, I guess. But yeah, again, good segue into the main event. That I have to admit was the right choice here of night one. What was talking about the AJ Styles versus the Undertaker in a boneyard match. It's basically
or buried alive match.
Yeah, but you can't say buried alive because obviously they're PG now, so there's basically another name for it. Let's be honest.
There is.
So yeah, the story for this was basically AJ was just getting really cocky and sort of like calling just calling out the Undertaker, really mocking him because he's a broken shell of a man, because he's
broken shell of a man, and that's because of his wife basically getting him on Instagram and on Twitter. This is not the Undertaker, this is Mark Calloway.
It's like looking at him, AJ is like, are you insane? Why would you poke the bear? You all know when you knew when he was going to do that.
Don't poke the dead man. Don't poke the dead bear.
No, I mean, you know he's going to come back, and he's going to. You're not the first person to say, the Undertaker's broken, he's a shell of a man. I mean, many wrestlers have said it, and they keep getting taken out. So, but I kind of like the story with this. I mean, I like the bit with the contract signing, the bit with the sort of like they made him sign it from different parts of the arena, and then sort of like Gallows and Anderson are just like, here's the contract, and then make him sign, and then he signed it, and then they're walking back, and then all of a sudden the old lights go out, come back, he's behind him,
teleport,
the old he's behind you, and then just beats the crap out of them two, because let's be honest, that's why they're here in this match, to be the people that get beaten up. But talk about this match in general. I mean, loving the whole set thing. Definitely either got the same director or the same person that did all the Matt Hardy stuff.
Yeah, same vibe.
I mean, he had the cool thing when he came out with the hearse, and he was like, "Oh, it's AJ." He's just messing more mind games.
Then you hear the motorcycle going, oh, it's badass Undertaker, and there's that great shot where he gets off the bike and the camera pans up and it's just Undertaker with his bandana. It's like, that's badass Undertaker.
It's the most badass he's been in a long time, right? I mean, and also I love the music, a bit of Metallica.
I was half expecting, like, because I could imagine listening going, I imagine Enter Sandman would have been really cool, or that, or just Dead Man Walking, you've done it now, gonna made a big mistake. It's like, that would have made sense.
Yeah, but very nicely, but I don't know, it's just
that would have made sense.
He comes off as a biker dude anyway. I know that's his gimmick, but it's like,
yeah,
and now he's gone the whole.
That's him as well. He's a big biker dude.
Yeah, it's like he's gone outlaw, and I think him going to this American Badass again is perfect to longevity for his career.
I think so,
because obviously his style is more of a he's like the old pure striker of WWE. So that could work. You could be this.
And it proves AJ's point as well. It's like you're not the Dead Man now. You're not the Undertaker. You're just Mark Calloway. But Mark Calloway was like, that's got the closest thing to American Badass.
Yeah, I love. I mean, this obviously we're talking about this match. I mean, he had the cool thing with. It was just basically a fist fight. It was just basically what it would be in real life. It would just be a punch, a fist fight. Just basically punches. AJ was basically regretting it from day one, from the start of this match. Like, what the hell have I done here? The whole thing was like the Undertaker was trying to punch him, and he put his fist through the window. It was quite cool. I mean,
his elbow as well. Looked at him and is bleeding. Son of a bitch! Look what you made me do. I loved Taker's calm demeanor throughout, and it's kind of like the friendly toy. Like, where are you going, AJ? We're having fun. Come on.
It's got that fight. It's got that
I loved
fight.
it.
It's got that feeling of like in a movie when it's like the bad guys finally get comeuppance, and it's just like he's running away and saying, I'm sorry. He's like, oh, where are you going? We're having so much fun. We do want to have fun.
Exactly, yeah.
I like it. But and then it was just we had a bit whether you got I know it's thing with the shuffle. The first shuffle, I don't know if that's purposely.
The first shuffle was there was no shovel on it, was there? It was just the
fell off. I saw it fell off. I think that was a mistake.
Yeah.
It's funny because this was pre-recorded, so couldn't have done it again. But okay.
It took like 8 hours to do, supposedly.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got to get it properly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I like the bit where it's like, it was with a situation where like Undertaker had AJ where he wanted him, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, where's Carl Anderson and Gallows? Oh, right, there they are. They turn up.
There they are.
And then all of a sudden they've got friends, and obviously it's just the old Druids type thing, isn't it?
Old Druids.
Well, I still don't get how they got them there, but it didn't really matter because this match is weird anyway. So.
Well, we don't know how Undertaker teleported, but it's.
But the Undertaker is known because it's the Undertaker. He's got supernatural powers. But
so he sees off the Druids. He sees off a bit of Anderson and Gallows, and then boom, is taken out from behind with a tombstone, a prop, not the move.
No.
A prop taking out Undertaker, which affects his ribs, affects his breathing, drives him through the barn. That also affects Undertaker's breathing and his movement.
Yeah, gotta be honest, they did go.
He's just completely winded.
They get overboard with the whole breathing thing. Like, I know sometimes it's like when sometimes when one time when Shane McMahon got attacked by I think it was like the Miz or something like that, or someone attacked him, and it was his breathing. Like properly like over the top.
Yeah, there's
like,
a little bit too much.
A little bit over the top breathing, like sort of like pretending that you've got broken ribs and you've like. But that's just a little nitpicking there. But yeah, I like the sort of thing like AJ was like, Undertaker was looking at him like, bring it, keep bringing it. It's going to take more than that to
Gives
take me
him
out.
the middle finger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably like badass there because he's American Badass. Liked the bit where it finally got him in the grave. Undertaker, being cocky as you would expect, goes on top of what was it called, like the
AJ Styles, you mean?
Yeah, of course. We're not talking about that's the end we're talking about. But AJ was there, and then it was like just about to put the dirt on top of him to bury him alive, and then
and you knew it wasn't the end because AJ has the line, right? Okay, how do you start this thing up? It's like, okay, so they're gonna stall now, and Undertaker's gonna appear,
and then all of a sudden, just like he disappears, and then boom, the lights, the nice little like cinematic lights at the back, and then the Undertaker's behind him, and like crap. Then obviously AJ was walking, basically like, okay, I'm running out of here. And he runs on top. I love it when he's up on top of the roof. Like, I'm safe in the roof. Like,
run.
He's coming.
Yeah, you're screwed. You go upstairs. There's nowhere to go.
Nope, you're trapped. If he comes up, you're trapped. Then obviously Anderson and Gallows come in and basically chucks. He chucks. I can't remember. It was like Gallows. He chucks Gallows out from.
Chucks
off the roof.
Chucks Gallows off the roof. Delivers Cole and gives him a tombstone on top of the roof. beforehand, Undertaker shoots some pyro, some flames behind AJ. AJ's just like, how are you still walking? How are you alive?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. It's like, it's true. It's like, why are you still alive? What's going on here? And then obviously the bit with like, you know, who's trash talking him, and then the cool thing where he chokeslammed him off the roof. And then after that, you knew it was the end.
Boom. You knew it was the end. Takes him to the grave. It's like, there were only two gripes maybe I had with this match. One was when Undertaker teleported behind AJ. I'd love to seen maybe a transition back into the dead man, perhaps, because that's what AJ wanted. Because Undertaker, as he's going up the ladder, this is what you wanted, AJ, isn't it? This is what you wanted. You wanted the Undertaker. Maybe he's back into his attire, or maybe his old like Ministry of Darkness kind of attire, maybe. So he's proper gothic Undertaker. That would have been nice.
Yeah, but I guess that's when you have more time. You said that took 8 hours to do. Like, you sort of had to get it done. Yeah. So I guess that's if you have like 3-4 weeks to do it, you might be able to add them nice little touches. But it's not like it ruined the experience, of course.
And the other one was the difference between because there's the big debate going on. So which match did you prefer between the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match? I watched both of them twice. Obviously, watching the Boneyard match, I didn't enjoy it first time round, but then I enjoyed it the second time round, and I enjoyed the Firefly Funhouse both times. The difference between the segments is the Firefly Funhouse has so much more context, so much to analyze. It goes really, really in depth. It's like a character study. Whereas this one with it's very symbolic with the grave, you know, but it's kind of too on the nose for me with the whole "please don't bury me, please don't bury me." So,
yeah, I mean, there might be for you, like, it's fair enough, but I kind of like that in sort of like, because again, it goes for the whole.
Too on the nose for me. It's too obvious.
Yeah, but it's like it's got the heat, like the sort of like movie feel to it, where it's just like with the over the top 90s action films when it's just like the guy's comeuppance, and then all of a sudden he's begging for his life, and then like the good guy like goes, "No, I'm not going to kill you," and then like and then obviously the police are coming or something, and then all of a sudden he's going to try and get back, and then all of a sudden like he's just about to like shoot him or something, and then they turn around and shoot him. But that's what it felt like here. Sort of like it felt like you thought that was the end, and then all of a sudden the Undertaker just screw it, kicks him in the face, and he goes down. Just
to be sure. Boom.
Yeah, it had that kind of like villainous 90s feel to it. I kind of liked. Me personally, I mean, obviously, it might have been a bit too on the nose for you, but that's, personal taste. But then obviously, then the end, it was just a simple thing of just he goes up, turns to keep the fit. Thanks for AJ. The engine's already running, so. Yeah,
and surprise, surprise, there's no Kane in this one because, as we know, whenever Undertaker has a Buried Alive match, he's usually screwed over by his brother Kane.
Maybe
twice that's happened.
Maybe they finally done it in a location where Kane couldn't find him this time. I was expecting
couldn't find him, and also social distancing.
True. I have to admit, I was waiting for when they done the flames bit. I was expecting him like turn up at some point, but again, that's all if they had time to really work on it. But yeah, I mean, obviously he done a bit, and then he actually brought the thing down. Dirt went over him. Buried alive. Then he took the cloth off the gravestone. It had AJ. 2020. He's gone. And then went on to his bike and he rode off into the sunset, victorious. And with the final shot
into the night,
and the final shot of AJ's hand from the grave, sort of like, yep, he is gone.
Yep. Does this mean AJ's taking a break? Is this AJ retiring?
I would say taking a break. If I was going to guess, taking a break, because he doesn't want to wrestle full time at the moment now. So maybe this might be his time off to be for a couple of months. But I mean, so that was part 1 of WrestleMania. On the Saturday. If I was going to, just to make this interesting, what we're going to do is we're going to like wrap up like we normally would in the show. Then we're just like or just say this is part 1, give our thoughts on it, and then we're going to take a little break. And then we'll go on to part 2 so we can properly separate it. Because part 1, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
It just wasn't a WrestleMania for me. It was just like a special event.
But I mean,
I was very disappointed in the Raw Championship. Raw Women's Championship. I can understand what they're trying to go for, what it could potentially lead to, but it could have been presented in such a better way. There were 1 or 2 matches on the card which shouldn't have been there. It is just missing that. It's not the same without that live crowd. The performers have to feed off. It's like theatre. You have to go off a live crowd.
Yeah, I mean, if you take away, but I mean, in a sense, like take away the crowd and sort of like the sort of like match quality, the storylines, all the stuff they were going for in the match. Like, was it, if you were just going by like not the crowd situation but the card, was it good? Like, if you take away the crowd situation, was it overall quality good, or do you think it was like, was there more good than bad?
I think if WrestleMania had been just the one night and that was the one and only night, I would have been disappointed. But because we had other things to look forward to, especially in the second night. But I thought the pacing of the show was really good. It was really refreshing because you look at the runtime, it's 2 hours 59 minutes. So it's under 3 hours. So like Attitude Era kind of like pay-per-view, or like Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view era. So if it was no longer than 2.5 to maybe 3.5 if it's an extra like summer special event, SummerSlam, Survivor Series kind of thing. That was nice. That was really refreshing. As opposed to having pay-per-views which are 4.5 hours long, and it just doesn't need to be. Yeah,
I think it. There was talk about like Triple H saying that this could be the future. It wouldn't be the worst idea. You know, instead of putting it all in one night, maybe like chop it up into 2 nights. So it's like, just because it just for like the fan, us casual fans. Obviously, for if you were there, it would cost you more money. But if you were like us watching it, it would probably be better for us because it means we can. It's like anything, because so much stuff we like it in small chunks.
Yeah.
So I think this is twice this year a company's done it. Obviously, New Japan were the first to do it with the Wrestle Kingdom. And they obviously done it at WrestleMania, not by choice, but try something new.
Didn't they do? Because they said it's the first time they've done WrestleMania by two nights. Didn't they do WrestleMania 2 on multiple locations?
Yeah, but I don't think that was like a 2-night event. I think that was. I think that was all on one.
Live, that was pre-record.
That was all. No, that was all. I think that was all live. Like they all done it in all different parts. If you know what I mean. It was all live. It was a type cut. They sort of like had like screens. Like I don't know. It's obviously people try to forget WrestleMania 2 for obvious reasons, but yeah. But I mean, I will be honest. If I take away the crowd and obviously not feeling like WrestleMania, all kinds of stuff. If you look at the matches, take away obviously the King Corbin Elias one shouldn't have been there. You've got some. I don't know. I just think the pacing was good. I think some of the matches were pretty good, except for 1 or 2. Yeah, I would, and obviously the finish. Loving it, loving the whole thing with the Undertaker and AJ. I think quality-wise, I think it was solid. I think it was good.
WrestleMania 2 had 3 venues.
Yeah, I think I remember how this worked.
It had Uniondale, New York. It had Rosemont, Illinois, and Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I think the problem with that one was just because it was they had a thing where like you were at one venue and then like the match, the main event was like one match ended, and then they have to watch. Some people have to watch the rest of the WrestleMania on a telly, on like a big screen. It's sort of like you're paying all this money to basically watch a show for a television when you can watch back then you could watch it at home. I think that's why it didn't work.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, there was only 4 matches per night.
Yeah, it was. You would have got ripped off of that.
One of them was a boxing match. I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, that's wrestling, isn't it? Back then it was a spectacle. Anything happens. I haven't done that in a while. Anyway, but yeah, so this was. Yeah, I thought. I mean, take away the crowd. This was a good I think this was a good show. Could be obviously could be better with crowd, more time, bit more effort, bit more. But for what they had to deal with and what they had to get to put this together was good. I thought it was alright.
I thought it was alright. Yeah, that's all I can say really. Obviously, going with low expectations, expecting it to be, kind of not awful, but glass half full. But it was alright. It was fine. It felt kind of no different, obviously, apart from the no crowd. It felt no different to just like a standard show you'd have like during the year, but it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania's got to be bigger and better.
But in the concept of the situation we're in, to have a show that feels like just like another pay-per-view show they normally do. I give them credit for that, because this could have easily. Some people, it's like they can't get past the whole there's no crowd. I have to admit, but yeah, I think for what they had and the time they had to put it together, right? Obviously, they still got part 2 we're going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, this was. I thought they done really well here. As much as it'd be like bashing WWE, and it's really easy. It's this time I give them some credit. They did okay this part anyway. But anyway, yeah. So
they did okay.
Yeah, so I'll give if I was going to grade, I'll give it like a C, maybe like a B minus, maybe because obviously the Undertaker AJ might have pushed it to a B, because that was working. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes.
There's only really three solid matches for me, so C minus for me.
Yeah, but
just about passable. It's okay.
Yeah, but that's fine. But anyway, yeah. So that obviously it's only part 1. So what we're gonna do for this one is we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna put like I was thinking of like maybe we might do a thing where like we'll put our favorite, like your favorite. What's your favorite wrestling theme, like overall?
Good question. I think to be relevant with this one, it'd probably be Matalingus, I think, Alter Bridge.
Yeah, I was going to put. I was thinking about put each one, but obviously that's one of my favorites too. So obviously I love playing that. Yeah, you know what? Why not? So what we do is
let's do that.
We'll put that tune to bridge the gap, or I might separate this into 2 parts and do 2 separate podcasts. It depends how long it is. But
okay.
But we'll be back in a little bit. We're probably gonna. I'm probably gonna make another tea, and and then we'll be back, and then we'll look at part 2 of WrestleMania.
All right. Cool. See you then.
Cool. See you then. Right. See you guys in a bit. Bye.
Bye.